Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps is one of the motorsport world's most storied venues. The home of the Belgian Grand Prix, the 24 Hours of Spa, and the Spa 1000. Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, also known as Spa, has long been recognized as a supreme test of courage and skill. Spa's roll call of winning drivers reads like a history book of Grand Prix and sports car racing. Michael Schumacher, Pedro Rodriguez, Jimmy Clark, Joe Seifert, Jackie Ickx, Henry Pescarolo, Juan Manuel Fangio, Senna, Gurney, Ascari, just to name a few. Spa has seen many variations over the years. Designed in the 1920s, the circuit originally ran for some 15 kilometers over public roads through Belgium's Ardennes forest, connecting the hamlets of Francorchamps, Malmedy, and Stavelot near the resort of Spa. The elimination of the hairpin turn in the valley of Eau Rouge Creek later shortened the circuit by about a kilometer and added to its already fearsome speeds. While Spa lacked the long straights of Le Mans or Monza, with the exception of the famed La Source hairpin, it was comprised exclusively of flat, fast, sweeping curves where speeds seldom fell below 100 miles an hour. Those speeds peaked in the early 1970s when Pedro Rodriguez won the 1970 Belgian Grand Prix at an average speed of 149.94 miles per hour, and Henry Pescarolo set a lap record of 163.086 miles per hour during the 1973 Spa 1000. With growing safety concerns, the circuit was reconfigured to its current 4.352-mile layout in the 1980s. The revised circuit retains much of the flavor of the original course and indeed many of its signature turns, including La Source, Blanchimont, and the daunting Eau Rouge, as well as the new Spa features a demanding purpose-built section that sweeps down a valley through the fast Pohon curve and the Campus S before rejoining the old circuit near Blanchimont. Tonight, it's the LSR Gaming X Spa 117, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Glad you could join us here this evening. Having some technical difficulties. I'll get that out of the way right off the bat. You can see at the top of your screen it says the old 403 forbidden message. That is a server issue with the SDK overlay system, so unfortunately we are without overlay tonight, at least for now, until they get this thing straightened out. Maybe it'll get done tonight, maybe it won't. I'm kind of crossing my fingers here. At least I do have camera controls so we can get this race underway. Qualifying, though, underway right now. 15-minute session, about 3.5 minutes in. Let's go trackside to see where everybody's shaking out. Kevin Burrows, presently the fastest car on track in his BMW. Nick Bautista second fast in the Ferrari. Once again, a bunch of BMWs in the race tonight. James Vance also one of them in third position so far in the number 87 machine. Andrew Locke, teammate in the 23. Fourth quick. Brandon Domain, fifth fast. Alfredo Tricarici, sixth. Bear with me, folks, while qualifying gets wrapped up. I'm going to try an alternative option here. Hopefully we can get something up on the screen so you guys can see what's what. It's a little rudimentary and it'll be in progress, but we've got something on the screen at least. Not perfect, but at least you can see kind of what's going on here. We've got the backup with Race Labs here. .2:16.60 for Terry Crouch, a lightning fast lap. Again, if you're just joining us, having some overlay issues with SDK. Trying to get that squared away here, but we're going to use Race Labs as a backup here, trying to get that figured out. All right, so we've got somewhat of a timing tower here at the bottom of your screen. We'll use that for the time being. Kind of doing this on the fly as this kind of came about here just as we were about ready to go live, so we're doing our best. Definitely been confirmed by SDK Gaming, a server issue. General server, they do have two, one in the US, one in the UK, just having some issues on our end. Check, check. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's fun when we do all this stuff ahead of time and it works just fine, and as soon as we try to go live is when we start to have our problems. Less than 4 minutes remain in the session. Terry Crouch, your fastest. Dave Seats, Gaston Mastroni, Randall White, Andrew Locke, the top 5. Then it's Kevin Burrows, James Vance, Alfredo Tricarici, Blake Langley, Dave Tamira, the top 10. Again, in qualifying, 15-minute session to set the field. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, having some overlay issues, trying to work that out while we finish up qualifying. Terry Crouch certainly the fastest presently. All right, guys, well, we're going to roll with it. At least we got a timing ticker there at the bottom of your screen. Should be able to see that relatively well. And through all that chaos, I think I'm losing my voice. All right, back at it. Let's get in the groove here. Terry Crouch has completed his laps, it seems. Less than a minute remains, just over 30 seconds. Of course, they're going to be able to finish their lap, so really call it a couple of minutes. It's Crouch, Seats, Masroni, White, and Locke, the top 5. Spent some time at the track here yesterday, I believe it was, yesterday afternoon. Didn't pull a whole lot of laps, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, but these cars certainly feel much different than they once did. Certainly a little more tail happy on throttle. Very easy to get them sideways on corner exit. More so even on corner entry. If you get too much rear brake into it, very easy to spin these cars out. Not a walk in the park like they once have been. Dave Seeds trying to wrap up his Q session. We are at 16 minutes of the 15-minute session, so a little over rotation for the Mercedes, and that's going to do it for Dave Seeds. P3 in the qualifying session. Qualifying officially not over just yet. Approaching 17 minutes. I don't think we're going to go 17 and a half. Possibly. We shall see. Clock still ticking. Stick with us, folks. We'll be right back. Back at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Field starting to grid up. Let's go through it here. On the pole position, Terry Crouch. Starting second, Gaston Masroni. Third is going to go to Dave Seeds. Randall White in the fourth position. Andrew Locke's going to start fifth, with James Vance starting in the sixth position. Kevin Burrows rolls from the seventh spot. Alfredo Tricarici is going to roll from the eighth position. Ninth goes to Blake Langley. David Tamira starts 10th. Daniel Clark 11th. Chris Pio is going to start from the 12th spot. 13th goes to Brandon Domain. Nick Batista 14th. 15th, Mike Piazza. Andy Spicer is going to start from the 16th spot. Sean Roberts 17th. And listed as 18th will be Kevin Blue. I think he's just going to admin here tonight. But that is your starting grid. Quick and easy, as we've got a shortened parade lap here at Spa. Field starting to roll already. We're going to be underway here shortly. Got Harley in the stream chat back once again. Cheering on Andrew Locke. For Terry Crouch has to start from the back here. Green flag is about to come out. It's out. We're racing here at Spa. Battle up front. Dave Seats in the wall. The Mercedes hard impact to the Tech Pro barrier. Masroni takes the top spot. James Vance jumps into P2. Now it's Randall White, Andrew Locke, Kevin Burrows, the top 5. Tough break for Dave Seats. We're going to gamble here and see if this replay is going to work. It does. Just a little bit of contact. Oh, okay, so let's back this up a little further here. I see what precipitated this. We'll slow it down. Looks like Dave's going to get into the back of the BMW. The middle car there, the second one in line, that's Dave Seats in the Mercedes. Gets in the corner a little bit hotter than Masroni. Gets to the back bumper. So big checkup trying to let him go. And it looks like James Vance might have gotten into the back. Yes, he does. In fact, just tries to avoid him. He almost gets crossed up too. But the 14, a hard impact into the wall. Lap 1 from the second spot. So it's Masroni out front. James Vance, Randall White, Andrew Locke, Kevin Burrows, the top 5. Lap 1 complete. Masroni still out front, not starting to get away though. Just over 3/4 second over James Vance. Working down into the hairpin turn 8 Rivage, as it is so called. Very tricky corner. So tempting to jump back on the throttle a little too soon. If you do that, you'll get a lot of understeer. The nose of the race car will push out, and then you got to lift. Then you get some oversteer. Kind of goes back and forth. James Vance got some pressure out the rear window. It's Randall White. And Randall White still battling for this position. Vance still has it. Both drivers excelling in different areas of the racetrack. It's kind of a give and take relationship right now between Vance and White up through Radion. Kevin Blue in his stream chat making a point here. Gaston having a lot to prove after a disappointing finish in Hungary. Gaston has plenty of pace in these places, just did not have a good race last week. Having a good one so far, starting outside front row. Terry Crouch having to go to the rear, but Terry, he's already back up into the 8th position. Let's focus on him for a moment, working his way through the field. Terry Crouch now up into P7. Takes the spot away from David Tamira. Again, BMW on BMW on BMW. In fact, the top 9 positions, all BMW. Brandon Domain in 14th. The other lone BMW in the field. Then we've got, let's see, in 10th, we've got Chris Pio in a Ford. Nick Batista, Andy Spicer, both in the Ferrari. Sean Roberts, 13th in a Porsche. Brandon Domain we spoke about. Mike Piazza, 15th in the Audi. David Seitz started outside front row, or 3rd position actually. He's back in the 16th spot after that early incident. Blake Langley was also in an Audi. He is off track, and Kevin Blue opted not to take the green. Back out front, really no pressure for Gaston Masroni. He's got a 2.5-second advantage over James Vance in 2nd spot. Randall White, though, starting to get some pressure from Andrew Locke. Again, looks like a BMW club race here right now at Spa. Ten minutes down here of 60 at Spa. Masroni, Vance, White, your top 3. Andrew Locke, 4th. Kevin Burrows, 5th. Right now, this does seem to be the battle on the track between Randall White and Andrew Locke out the back window. Again, plenty of BMW out the front of the field here. The top 9. Andrew putting the pressure on, but not pushing too hard. Again, still relatively early. Drivers will need to make a couple of pit stops. Brandon Domain in trouble. This is down through turns 11, coming down into 12. Take a look, see what happened here with Domain. Oh, just an early turn in. Lack of concentration. Don't know if he was looking up at one of his gauges, one of his overlays. Doesn't hit anything, thankfully, but costing him some track position. Great battle here at the front of the field here between James Vance, Randall White, Andrew Locke, Kevin Burrows. These top 5 BMWs putting on a show. Masroni, though, still very impressive. 3 seconds now, the advantage over James Vance. Crouch just went off track a moment ago, but it didn't seem to be too big of an incident as he is now up into the 6th position. Won't be long. Terry's going to catch that top 5 pack, and he's going to put the challenge on. Just keeping a close eye on him. Go on board here with Terry Crouch. You can see the top 5 not too far in the distance, 2.6 seconds to be specific. He's got some time before he gets there, but it won't be too long, and when he does, it'll be fun to watch him try to knife his way through up into that top position, see if he can challenge Gaston for that top spot. Again, a couple of pit stops going to be required here tonight. We'll see how that plays into the strategy for all involved. Already cut 0.4 of a second into the gap between himself and Kevin Burrows. I imagine he's going to be pretty careful going around Kevin. They are TLDR Sim Sport teammates per se. He's not going to be super aggressive for that reason, and well, that's pretty early as well. Andrew Locke right on the back bumper of Randall White. This is for position, the 3rd spot that is. Takes a look, nothing available. By side through that final chicane, unable to make the pass. Andrew still all over Randall White. Definitely seems to be a bit faster. Last lap was a 2:18.88 to a 2:18.90. Pretty darn close as far as the differential between those two. The delta not showing so much, but again, if you got a car in front of you, hard to go faster than you really are. He's got to get that pass made. He has the pace. He was faster than James Vance in practice and in qualifying. See if he can get around Randall White here and put on a charge and close into teammate James Vance. Maybe they can work together. Maybe he can get around Vance later on and put the challenge on to Gaston. But meanwhile, Terry Crouch still in that 6th position, closing in still on Kevin Burrows. Gap now less than a second between Crouch and the top 5. Got Harley in the stream chat. Who cracks first for third? It's a great question. It's Randall White. He's going to have to drive defensively. He's watching that mirror, I'm sure. Again, still early. Pit stop's going to come into play here at some point soon. Locke looking to the inside. Tries the crossover. Oh, can't get the power down. A little oversteer on exit. David Tamira has hit pit lane for his first stop of the night. Dave's going to take tires already. It's not necessarily a bad play if you're going to stay on this set all the way to the end. They're still going to have to make one more pit stop before this one's over. Likely a splash and go as the race comes to its conclusion, but we still got just under 41 minutes remaining. Randall White maintains P3. Andrew Locke is 4th. Kevin Burrows 5th. Terry Crouch all over the back bumper. Not even a bumper anymore. He makes the move, goes around the outside. Terry Crouch into the top 5. Again, started last. Took him 20 minutes to get up into the top 5 here with plenty of time remaining. Couple of pit stops for strategy. Got Haley in the stream chat. It's 3:30 in the morning in Sweden. I got to get up early, so it's good night time. Haley, as always, thank you oh so much for joining the stream, watching tonight. Do appreciate it. Have a lovely night. With that, HBR TV is going to take a side-by-side break. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Marcos.
Back at Spa for the LSR Gaming X on Twitch. Spa 117, Lonestar Racing GT3 Series. Gaston Masroni, your race leader. James Vance still running in the second spot. Terry Crouch up to P3. Just now getting by Randall White there a moment ago. He has some serious pace. Fastest car on the racetrack. Fast lap of the day, 2 minutes 16.57 seconds. Leader's fast time, 17:38. Crouch is on a mission, trying to go from worst to first here. We're not even halfway. He certainly has time, but pit stops are looming. Expect to see these drivers down pit lane here very soon. In fact, you saw it during the break, first round of stops. David Tamira kicked it off. Terry Crouch now approaching James Vance. This could be a tough pass to complete. Right on board. Crouch runs a little wide, coming out of turn 15. Wide open throttle here, up into Blanchimont. Little lift on the left-hander. Maybe. Then hard braking down into 18 and 19, the chicane. Crouch goes wide, tries to open it up, doesn't have the room to do it. Good defense from James Vance. Harley says, must be one more in the top 5 to pit still. Well, unfortunately, no. All the way down to P6. They all pit on lap 9. Lap 8 was Tamira. Daniel Clark was lap 9. 10th, Chris Pio was lap 9. First round of stops are complete. See how far they take it this time. I can imagine it's going to be fuel only next time they hit pit lane. Oh, Terry Crouch gets to the back bumper of James Vance and spins himself out in front of the other top 5 cars. A little bit of contact. Terry gets on the brakes just too hard, sends himself around. It's going to relegate him back into P6. Well, let's take a look, see exactly how that unfolded. Not going to see much from here. There we go. Gets on the brakes. Gets to the inside. Turns it down hard. Gets to the throttle. And just as they start to do the change of direction, tiny tap to Vance. No damage there, but it's enough to send Crouch around. Some other drivers through the gravel. .32 minutes remain here from Spa. Terry Crouch was challenging James Vance for P2. Gets to the back bumper, gets spun out here. He's back in P6. It took him 20 minutes to get from the rear of the field to the top 5. We'll see if he's got enough to work his way back and challenge for a top 3, maybe even a win here with just 31.5 minutes remaining. Gaston looking awful strong out though front. 6.5 seconds the advantage over James Vance. Since that incident with Crouch, James Vance has a bit of breathing room to work with. Somewhat clean track out in front, plenty of clean track out the back window, and even still it's Andrew Locke, the teammate, running in P3. Tough break for Dave Seats as you look at the timing ticker at the bottom, 13 laps down. Had a promising Q run, started in the top 3, was not even a full lap for contact, sent him into the Tech Pro barrier. Terry Crouch making contact with James Vance and then subsequently spinning in front of multiple drivers. Kind of spread the top 5 of these guys out just a bit. Again, Gaston still plenty of room. 7 seconds his advantage over James Vance. As he comes down the hill through Eau Rouge into Radeon. Andrew Locke the same. Kevin Burrows is closing in as well. Just maybe 4 or 5 car lengths behind Andrew Locke. It's Randall White. 2 TLDR Simsport drivers, really 3. You got Burrows, White, and Crouch. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Kevin Blue says, oh Lord, what did I miss? Well, we watched Terry Crouch go from worst to P3. He's challenging James Vance through the chicane. Might have gotten on throttle just a tick sooner than Vance. Slight contact with the 2 of them, but it sent Terry around. No crash, so to speak, but it was right in front of 3 other BMWs. Just relegated Crouch back to P6 once again. Had a great charge through the field to start the race. See if he's got the pace to make it back up. He's kind of got to refocus here. Last lap for Crouch, a 17:59, was the fastest car on the racetrack. Gaston Masroni, your race leader, was an 18:27. Not a bad year, but a slower lap. Right on board with Terry Crouch once again. James Vance has just had an issue on track. It's definitely shrunk that gap between himself and Andrew Locke. Certainly did not bin it this time. We'll see what's happened here as we continue to watch. Take a quick look, see if we can catch what happened. Does he just go off track? Right side's on the curb just a bit. This is coming down into the chicane. Turns 18, 19. Oh, just runs wide. Nothing too severe, but definitely cost him track position. You know, he's pushing that BMW hard. Battle on track, though. It's Andrew Locke and Kevin Burrows. That small mistake out of James Vance has certainly allowed Andrew Locke to close in to his teammate. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for Andrew at this point, as it's going to dump some dirty air on the nose of that number 23 BMW. Andrew has to focus on, do I want to chase down the 87 or do I want to defend against the 426 of Kevin Burrows? Right now, it seems like he's trying to chase down James Vance. Andrew wants that P2 position. Meanwhile, Masseroni out to a 10-plus, almost 11-second advantage over this battle for second, third, and fourth. Still watching this battle, James Vance, Andrew Locke, Kevin Burrows, second, third, and fourth. Brandon Domain, however, has just had an incident on track. Let's take a look what happened with Domain. We saw him have a problem earlier on in the race. It was very minor. Let's see if that's the case here. Or is it just a matter of it's time for a pit stop? We've seen that here at Spa and iRacing. A lot of times you hit the pit lane and it says you've crashed. Looks like it's just a pit stop for Brandon Domain. Brandon Domain, Mike Piazza also on the pit lane for their final stop of the night, in theory. Andy Spicer in a Ferrari having a problem on track. Let's see what happened here at the number 24 machine. Not a pit stop this time. Doesn't get the entry he needs. Just a simple spin, though. No contact. Spicer running back in the 12th position. This battle for second, third, and fourth still unchanged, though still close-knit together. Terry Crouch up into P5 here once again. He's gone around Randall White for that position. Down into the braking zone to turns 5 and 6. Lacombe and Malmedy. No change. Sean Roberts in the pits. Taking tires on that Porsche. Drops the jack and he's on his way. Again, final stop of the day for Sean Roberts. 21 and a half minutes remain. I gotta wonder if James Vance actually has the pace right here. It's not to knock Vance. He's definitely got pace almost every place that we go to. Once in a while, though, we will see Andrew Locke kind of chew into that pace, and it seemed like tonight was the night. Practice and qualifying, Andrew fared well. Got some cars stacking up, though, behind the 87. That's the other thing you got to consider when you're driving on these road courses, being defensive, protecting your position, though you might have some faster cars in behind. Taking advantage of a defensive line, kind of take away the preferred lane from the driver that's trying to attack from behind. Terry Crouch has crashed. Or has he? Or is this just a pit stop? Oh man, got my excitement going. Not the case. Crouch and Burrows down pit lane. Final stop of the day. This is the one that I want to watch. Does Terry take tires here? I didn't catch it on the first time around. Let's see if he does now. The jacks stay stationary. Fuel only for Terry Crouch. He's down and away. Kevin Burrows beats him out. About 1 second difference in the pit box between these two. Crouch taking on a little bit more fuel, trying to make sure he can make it to the end. Burrows possibly being a little more aggressive. Hero creation in the stream chat. The BMW of Vance probably struggling with a Mercedes-shaped dent in the front end. Talking about the first lap incident between really all three drivers. Dave Seats got real close to Gaston there, had to check up, got the brakes harder than he had needed to do. Kind of a chain reaction incident. James Vance gets into the back of Seats. Unfortunately for Dave, he ends up a short day here, finishing this race out not even after completing one lap. Gaston Masroni still your race leader, been dominating this race here at Spa. Again, the LSR Gaming X on Twitch, Spa 117. Thanks to Justin Johnson for coming on to sponsor tonight's race. Gaston stays out once again. 18 minutes to go. We're late for a break. We're going to take our final HBR TV side-by-side break. Get it out of the way. You won't miss a thing. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Spa for the LSR Gaming X on Twitch. Spa 117. Waning minutes here. The LSR GT3 Series. Gaston Masroni still out in front, enjoying a comfortable 12-second advantage over Terry Crouch, who's worked himself back up into the second spot. 14 minutes remain. Terry's going to have to run some lightning fast qualifying level laps to work its way up into the Gaston Masroni territory, which again is 12.5 seconds ahead of him. He's got work to do. I don't know if he's got enough time to do it. If this was a 90-minute race, I think he could get it done, but it seems that that spin has definitely hurt Terry Crouch. As far as the track position goes, I would be willing to bet he lost an easy 10-12 seconds in that incident, and that would put him right on the back bumper, or if not even ahead of Gaston Masroni if it had not occurred. Again, you can't go back in time. You can't redo it. You can't foresee the future of what would have been. It is what it is. Terry's running in that P2 position. He's got work to do. He's going to have to run just about a second a lap faster every lap if he's going to do anything with Gaston Masroni. We've got it. We can see how it's going to work. Last lap for Masroni, hard to say. It was a 22.03, now a 42.03. What's going on here? Nope, that's just him pit out. Okay, no problems there. Had me nervous. It's not an insurmountable advantage. Terry can make this difference up, but he's going to have to be perfect. He's going to have to run his best lap of the day every time by for the next 12.5 minutes just to get a shot at Gaston Masroni on the last lap. Difference here, Terry Crouch on hot tires. Really, so is Masroni. Neither one of them opted to change tires. It was a fuel-only stop for both drivers. Come back and watch the battle for P3. That's where it's at. Oh, Andrew Locke goes way wide. Almost gets into the barrier. Manages to keep it on track. Loses a little bit of ground. Alfredo Tricarici in trouble as well. Let's see what happened here with the other Lonestar Racing driver. Gets it in a little too deep on the brakes. Gets it on the curb. Was okay there. It was the next curbing that caught him out. Or did it? Oh, just on the brakes. Again, a simple spin. We've seen that a bunch here today. So Crouch still running in P2. The gap not shrinking all that much between himself and Gaston, 12.2 seconds. Terry's pretty smart here. I can imagine he may not push too hard as to give up that second position. Those positions pay points as well. If he can lock it in and finish here runner-up, I know it's not the outcome that he had hoped for, but it's certainly the one that he's going to shoot for now. Somewhat changing of strategies late in the race. Continuing to watch this battle for P3. Kevin Burrows currently the driver with it. Andrew Locke trying to steal it away. And James Vance, not sure what happened with Vance. He's back in the 14th position off the track. Try and go back through and see what happened. Start here. This is the only indicator I have. He went a little bit wide. Almost spins the car on the brakes. Amazing save. We saw this happen weeks ago. Incredible driving until right here. Noses it into the barrier. Of course, this was on cold tires. Tough break for the 87. Strong run most of the night. challenging up into that top 3, but now it's Andrew Locke's responsibility for that team. Try and get on by Kevin Burrows and take that top 3 position. Crouch only able to shave about a second off the advantage in the last few minutes. Meanwhile, Kevin Burrows starting to pull away from Andrew Locke. Not sure if Andrew's going to have anything for Kevin Burrows here in the closing minutes. 7 minutes, 20 seconds remain. Less than a second, the gap up into P3. Andrew Locke can see it. Gotta wonder if dirty air playing a part here. Again, he's tucked in behind another BMW. Does punch a big hole in the air, which is great for the straightaways, getting into that slipstream, but you're going to lose a lot of that air that you want on the nose of the car in the corner for turn in and braking. Some other battles on the racetrack. Alfredo Tricarici runs in the 7th spot. Daniel Klar just in behind, trying to put some pressure on. Once again, BMWs at large, the top 8. All BMW. Sean Roberts, though, has broken that mix up. He's up into the 9th spot in the Porsche. Chris Pio in the Ford up to the 10th position. James Vance, of course, the other BMW, now back in the P14 after his incident on track. Very sunny day here at Spa. Not the typical, not necessarily what you would expect. Usually dark and dreary, cloudy skies and rain falling here in Belgium. Beautiful sky, beautiful sun. You gotta wonder if that's played a part. Some of the handling issues that some of the drivers may have experienced with track temperatures being a little hotter than anticipated. Brandon Domain down pit lane one more time. Just 4.5 minutes remain for Brandon. This might just be splash and go. Nick Batista in the Ferrari going on by. Still the battle for 7th. Tricarici keeps it. Andrew Locke still trying to close in on Kevin Burrows. Seems that Andrew really closes the gap on Burrows under braking. Latter stages of the lap seems to be his strong suit. Gap now just over half a second from Burrows to Locke. We saw it as high as a full second about a lap or two ago. Andrew has closed the gap back in through Eau Rouge, up through Radillon. Under 6/10, close enough for the slipstream. Picks up another 10th. And it turns 5 and 6 and 7, then down the hill in Rivage, turn 8. Under 2.5 minutes remaining here at Spa. Andrew Locke trying to get down the podium here, take the spot away from Kevin Burrows. This is where Burrows is faster. Midsection of the lap, turns 11, 12, 13. Andrew just trying to push as hard as he can to close the gap. Meanwhile, Gaston Masroni, your race leader, down through the Kemmel Straight. This will be the last lap for Gaston Masroni with a 10-second advantage over Terry Crouch. Dominating performance, started outside front row. Terry had the pole, had to go to the back for the win penalty. Fastest lap of the day still belongs to Terry Crouch, 2 minutes 16.57. Gaston, 2 minutes 17.38. The difference between the two, Crouch had to start from the rear, Masroni on the front row, and no mistakes made by Gaston. I think Terry would have had a crack at Masroni for that top spot if he hadn't made that small mistake with James Vance. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, well, you know the rest. Masroni down into the chicane for the final time. Gaston Masroni out of turn 19, crosses the stripe, takes the checkered flag. Terry Crouch across the line in P2. Kevin Burrows is going to win out against Andrew Locke for P3. Hard-fought battle between those two, mutual respect between those two. Randall White's going to finish in P5. So Masroni on the cool down lap. We're going to jump out. We're going to cool down ourselves. Get a quick break out of the way. Be back hopefully with our top three finishers after this. Keep in mind, Gaston Masroni, not a native English speaker, so he'll likely give an interview in his home language. Hopefully that's the case. He deserves to have his say as well, again, as the race winner. But we'll be back after this, guys. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's
Back at
Research
Circuit des
Hospital. We needed
Spa-Francorchamps,
sponsors to help
Gaston
us raise
Massereau,
money,
your
and
race
he's always
winner.
the first one to jump in.
Dominating
I would describe
performance,
Marcos and his
Gaston
team
jumped
as
out of the green room
upstanding,
booth.
someone you
Thought
can
we were gonna have him
trust,
up here
and
for
he
just
is
a
just a
moment. He
genuine
just
guy.
left.
Marcos
So
has
we're
been
gonna kinda go
very
backwards
generous.
order
He
here.
has
We'll
a
start with
genuine
Kevin Burrows.
concern for people. You need somebody that cares about
Kevin and
you.
Stephen, the
And that's what
HBR
Marcos
TV
is, and that's
broadcast
pretty
booth.
much
We're
what
doing
this
things in
firm
reverse
is.
order
The Garza
tonight.
Law
So,
Firm.
P3
Let us help.
here at Spa. Strong run defending against Andrew Locke. First and foremost, you got a copy.
Yep, I'm here.
Congratulations again, man. A top 3 finish on the podium. Walk us through your race strategy that may have been played. I know you, Terry, and Randall certainly worked together here at these places, but tell us about your race.
It was a good race. Andrew was definitely tough, and I was just trying to not lose draft, trying to stay up with the pack there. It was me and Andrew, and I can't remember who else it was there for quite a while. But the spa is always a good time. I definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, keeping the draft, you can stay up with them a lot better.
Now, talk about the draft as far as that slipstream goes. I know it certainly helps on the long straightaways, but does it really affect the car terribly under braking and in the corner? Is it kind of dirty air at that point?
It's a little bit, but it's not terrible in this car. It's definitely manageable. I mean, obviously you can tell it, but it's definitely not terrible.
Certainly a good thing to hear. Again, a nice run here tonight at Spa. Next week, we're out at Bathurst. That is going to be a completely different animal all on its own. How do you feel about Bathurst and Mount Panorama Circuit next week?
If I can finish with only 4 missing fenders, I will be very happy.
Well, Kevin, either way, nice job here tonight. A strong run going into Mountain Panorama next week. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
My team, TLDR, Terry and Randall, and always my wife and my child letting me enjoy my hobby. And you, man, you did a great job up there in the booth. We appreciate it.
Appreciate the kind words, Kevin, and certainly good luck next week at Bathurst.
Thank you.
It's Kevin Burrows, your third place finisher. And then we're going to go to Terry Crouch, get a word with our pole sitter. Pull him up in the booth here if we can get him up here. Terry, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, you got me?
Got you somewhat loud and clear. That's a lot better. A tough break tonight. I mean, you put the car on the pole position. You had to start from the rear. I think it took about 20 minutes to get yourself up into the top 5. You were closing the gap, putting pressure on James Vance, and in the chicane, little bit of contact between yourself and the 87. Around you went in front of a few other cars. You got through it somewhat clean, but certainly cost you with the track position. Walk us through it.
Well, that's just hard racing. He had it. I wanted it. He was defending. I knew he was going to fend. So we were kind of partnering around with each other for, 6 or 7 corners. And I knew he was going to take defensive lines. And so I was going for a run. And then he kind of parked it on the apex. And there's not a lot I could do. It was his right to that part of track. And I ran into him. So it's my fault. Luckily, it didn't take a bunch of cars with me. But I accepted my penalty of time out there.
Certainly cost an opportunity, I think, at a great finish that we could have had here. Without that, I don't know how much time it actually cost you on track, but given where you landed here, you still finished P2, about 9 seconds shy of challenging Gaston for that race win. It's just, it's what could have been. You never know, but again, next week we go to Bathurst. Again, a completely different animal. I know we ran a preseason race there that you were strong at. How do you feel about Mountain Panorama?
I love that track. I've given a lot of guys kind of coaching tips around that track. Once you understand the topography of that track, it just completely opens up, and it's a lot better from the front than the back of the pack. So this is actually about the best possible scenario to maximize points without getting the EOL there. So we'll take it in next week and try and string a few more of these together at the end.
It's going to be a tough break for Gaston next week at Bathurst. Advantage to Terry Crouch. Looking forward to a good battle between you guys if it comes down to it. If not, well, it is what it is. But the points battle continues to rage on. Congratulations, Terry. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
The wife, my daughter, my grandkids are actually watching some of these lately too, so that's awesome. My team at TLDR, Brad over at Simpit, And you guys, these things are so fun. I wish you would have come race radicals with us, man. You and Zach. I was waiting, and you weren't there.
Well, I wasn't even out of bed by 11:30, and I had the kids this weekend, so didn't get the opportunity, but we'll try to get in there and race one or two of these things here before it's all said and done.
All right, man. I'll be waiting.
Terry Crouch, your second place finisher. We're going to try and pull Gaston up here again. I don't speak Spanish very well at all. I'm going to give it a shot, and he's going to do the rest. Hopefully that's all we can do. Gaston, felicidades. Gaston, cuéntanos sobre tu carrera.
Hola, buenas noches. Muchas gracias. La verdad que creo que hicimos una buena carrera. Quiero dejarme agradecer al apoyo de la gente de Van Gessen y a todo el equipo Coanda, que la verdad que en la semana practicamos mucho y bueno, estuvimos limando ahí un poquito el tema de las décimas en algunos parciales y bueno, pudimos hacer una muy buena carrera. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, hermano. Good luck next week, Gaston. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks. Saludos. Bye.
It's Gaston Masroni, our race winner here at Spa. Again, trying to get this worked out here. I don't speak the best Spanish in the world. To be honest, I'm using Google Translate to get it done. I really do appreciate him coming up here and giving his side of things regardless of the language. I think it's really cool, to be honest. You win the race, you got to have your couple of minutes here up in the booth. So appreciate it, Gaston. Congratulations on the race win here at Spa. Certainly well earned. Good luck next week out at Bathurst. That's going to wrap it up here. I can't even really give you a display of race results, but we can try to go through it here. Of course, Gaston Masroni, your race winner. Terry Crouch. Then it was Kevin Burrows. Sorry, Gaston Masroni, Terry Crouch, Kevin Burrows. Andrew Locke brought it home P4. Fifth went to Randall White. Dave Tamira finished in the 6th position. Alfredo Tricarici 7th. 8th went to Daniel Clark. Sean Roberts 9th. Chris Pio was 10th. Andy Spicer 11th. Nick Batista was 12th. Brandon Domain finished P13. James Vance tough break was strong all night long. One little mistake, put it in the fence, binned it, finishes 14th. Mike Piazza 15th. Dave Seats was 16th. 17th went to Blake Langley, and Kevin Blue did not take the green flag. I don't believe going to get credited here with the 18th position. Taking a look at the stream chat, I got to thank all you guys for chiming in. It started out hot and heavy. We had a bunch of you guys in here, some Gaston Masroni fans, of course. I haven't really Google translated. I think Kevin Blue did that, saying, "Let's go Masroni." The White Shark from south of Rosario. And then Haley out of Sweden throwing in some Swedish that I definitely can't understand, but she translates for us as "Happy Race Day." Harley, a big fan of Andrew Locke out there. Of course, Kevin Blue again. Euro Creation, I think that was Dave Seats, just based on his reactions to my comments about that early lap incident. Really do appreciate all you guys for jumping in here. It makes things easier on my end, a little bit more interaction. We do appreciate it. First and foremost, though, certainly do appreciate you jumping in here, watching the stream, participating, of course. But please, if you haven't already done so, like, follow, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. YouTube.com/@HBRTV1. And check us out on the website. Website is brand new. Very little to it, just a logo and some hot links for the social media. It's HBRTV1.com. So check us out there. And again, join us next week. We're going to go to Bathurst, Mount Panorama Circuit with the GT3 car. Oh my, oh my. It's going to be a fun one. It could be a tough one. It's going to be action-packed, certainly. Terry Crouch, no win penalty there. He loves that place. Gaston Masroni with a win penalty. He ran well there in the preseason, so we really could still have a decent race out of this. So tune in for it. It's going to be fun. If you're just looking to watch something, well, tomorrow night we're back in action. The Numb Thumbs Racing League. Tune in there about 8 p.m. East here at HBR TV. And then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then back Sunday. We're busy here. Friday and Saturdays we take off, but plenty of action to be had here at HBR TV. It's going to wrap it up for us here at Spa. Congratulations to Gaston Masroni. Thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you at the next one.